A new and safe and effective alternative to weight loss drugs. Have you been hearing about weight loss drugs? I mean, you can't turn on the TV without seeing something about weight loss drugs. So here's a couple of them: Zepbound and Ozempic. Weekly injections that make you lose weight. And do they make you lose weight? They do work. But I'm concerned with some of the problems that come along with them. So I'm going to give you a great, brand new alternative in the coming week, but let's talk about how Ozempic works. It is a semaglutide, a glucagon-like peptide 1 receptor agonist. So it mimics something that's already in your body, doing good things. Among other things, this semaglutide is a hormone that is released when you eat food. And it increases satiety and decreases your appetite. It decreases gastric motility, so it slows down the muscle movements in your stomach, and it slows down gastric emptying, so food stays in your stomach longer. It increases insulin, and it decreases glucagon, which is just stored glucose in your body. So most of the side effects or things that semaglutide do are good, but Ozempic does a few things that concerns me, like increasing insulin. If we look at the other things that this semaglutide does, is it tends to affect the nervous system. Now, when things start affecting your nervous system, I get a little more concerned. So the vagus nerve communicates the stomach and intestinal tract with the brain. It links them two together, and they talk via the vagus nerve. Gastric emptying is one of the things that happens. Delayed gastric emptying is one of the things that happens when you take these drugs. It is the main mechanism, I think, that makes it work. So it makes you feel full longer because things tend to stay in your intestinal tract. Delayed gastric emptying, or gastroparesis, or stomach paralysis, are things that can occur with these drugs. And if you start to get nausea or vomiting, you're getting gastroparesis, and I start to get a little concerned. So normally food gets into your stomach, the muscles churn around, digest the food, and then move that into the small intestinal tract. With gastroparesis, you got a loss of muscle movement, so the stomach kind of sits there. That washing machine isn't churning. And you get possible damage to that vagus nerve that connects this with the brain. That's a significant, serious problem. Food stays here longer, and that sphincter, that valve at the end of the stomach, stays closed instead of opening. So there's some serious potential side effects with the weight loss drugs, and most of them have to do with your intestinal tract. 9 times higher risk of pancreatitis, 4 times higher risk of bowel obstruction, 3.6 times higher risk of gastroparesis, and it has been linked to fatalities as well. If you do a search, there are people dying regularly from taking this. And what do they usually die from? Obstruction in the intestinal tract. So the medications can increase the intestinal length and villi. So here's the villi in your intestinal tract. They're little finger-like projections that nutrients are absorbed in, and there's the opening there. That's what it should look like. Well, the drug can help your intestinal tract to become inelastic and fibrotic, leading to long-term upper intestinal tract obstruction. So here's that same intestinal tract. Now we've got no opening there. There's no way for foods to come through, and we have an obstruction. Ozempic can also work via your brain. The GLP-1 from the intestinal tract that we produce breaks down pretty quickly, and so it affects decreasing your appetite for a while, and then it stops working. But the hormone receptors are also in other parts of your body, like the brain. And if you have high levels of this drug, it can start affecting those parts of your brain and cause other things to happen. So the brain receptors are likely to be the reason the GLP-1 drugs can curb the desire to eat, but also curb other desires. And usually we got to think of these drugs as brain drugs rather than intestinal drugs. Another difference between the drugs and what naturally occurs in your body is the level of them. Naturally occurring levels are not very high, and they tend to go down pretty quick. So your body releases these GLP-1s, and in a few hours, your body degrades them and gets rid of them. Ozempic is made not to degrade, so it stays in your body for days and days rather than hours, and it's also at a higher dose. And by the way, it is designed to do that because they want you only to have to take the drug once a week. Normally, when hormones and things and drugs get into your body, your liver and things have to have a way of degenerating them and getting them out so they don't continue to work. But they don't degrade, and they're given at such a high dose compared to what we normally have. They saturate our body and also penetrate parts of your body that maybe they shouldn't, like deep into the brain. And its effect on the brain is likely why it works and why it also can help people lose their desire to engage in behaviors like drinking alcohol, shopping, and smoking. So it has some potential good effects and potential good things that it can do to your body, but significant potential bad things too. So what if there was a natural product that had similar benefits of all the good things that these drugs can do, and it had no bad side effects, only good side effects? Wouldn't you want to know what that was? Well, join me in our next video and we will tell you about that.